The 2015 Mississippi Farm Bureau annual meeting was held in Jackson with about 700 Farm Bureau members in attendance, representing the 82 county farm bureaus across the state.
Agribusiness.
The three-day convention featured high-profile speakers, contests, awards, elections of officers and directors, and the adoption of policies that will guide the organization in the coming year. Farm Bureau President Mike McCormick said there are many challenges facing farmers in the future, and one of the biggest is transportation.
Our farmers and our ranchers need to get their products to market, and our infrastructure really needs some work. And we've been working on a task force with the governor's task force to come up with some ideas on how we may get that done, and I look forward to working with that down at the Capitol.
Commodity prices are always a concern for farmers, but government regulations have become an even bigger problem.
From a regulatory standpoint, the overreach of EPA in the waters of the U.S. is probably an issue that's going to impact every farmer here in Mississippi. The regulatory environment as a whole is problematic, trying to deal with new labor laws and trying to get a labor workforce. Trying to get and keep farm chemicals on the market is becoming increasingly difficult with EPA as well. So probably government overreach and regulation will be the things we'll work on.
McCormick says that an organization like Farm Bureau is strong because of the grassroots support that comes from the members at the local level. It's very important that they stay involved.
I just told the group that when I go to D.C., those guys want to hear what I have to say, but more importantly, they want to know what our membership says out in the countryside. So I tell them to stay involved, stay active. We need them. We need them to help send us the policy here that we adopted today so their voices can be heard.
The keynote address was given by Governor Phil Bryant. He spoke of his agricultural background and his appreciation for farmers.
As I was a young boy, my grandfather worked for Adams Egg Farms. Some of you may remember Fred Adams and when it was Adams Egg Farm. And so we grew up around the poultry industry. His father-in-law, my grandmother's dad, who lived to be 89 years old in Morehead, Mississippi, was a cotton farmer, as we talked about earlier. They were two of the greatest Americans I've ever known. They got up before the sun. They worked all day long into the fields and into those chicken houses. They would come home late into the evening. I learned the values of being an American and being a Mississippian from those two farmers. They were farmers. They were Americans. They were Mississippians. And like you, they made this country and this state what it is today.
Commissioner of Agriculture Cindy HydeSmith also spoke to the convention. She emphasized the clout that Farm Bureau has across the state and in the legislature.
And used to, Farm Bureau would come to the Capitol many years ago when they would try to get the ear of the politicians. Now the politicians are trying to get the ear of Farm Bureau. They want that ag vote. They know how important that is. They know how far-reaching that is. They know how significant and how strong the voice of agriculture is. I've had the opportunity in the past year to work with Mike McCormick, to work with the staff of Farm Bureau, and I can't tell you how impressive that the new president is. His tenacity, I sure hope, is contagious, but his willingness, his innovative means, his motivation, and his focus is unbelievable at times to me. I have thoroughly enjoyed getting to know him better, to see the future that I see for Farm Bureau, in my opinion, and to know that I think we're on a very good path.
The outlook for commodity prices is always a hot topic when farmers get together. Economist John Anderson with the American Farm Bureau said that higher production levels have put pressure on commodity prices.
In addition to the higher production we've seen build up over the last couple of years, really since we came out of the 2012 drought, we've had some pretty good production years. We've also now got a really strong dollar that's making our products less affordable to foreign consumers in our export markets, and that's had a dampening effect on demand. And so when you put those things together, it's been a pretty soft market for our major commodities.
Anderson said that one thing farmers can do to protect themselves is to try to control their cost of production.
The other thing we can do, I think, in this environment that maybe is different than what we've had in the past is that we do probably have more upside in this market than we've had in previous situations where we've had oversupplies. And the reason for that is we've got really strong global demand, and I think the supply situation can turn faster than it used to historically. And so keep an eye on that downside risk, but be open to the upside, because there will be more volatility than we're used to, which is a risk we've got to deal with, but that also means that there's some pricing potential there that maybe wouldn't have been there in the past in situations like this.
There were quite a few awards and contests at the convention. The late Kevin Simpson, a row crop farmer from Benton County, received the organization's highest honor, the Distinguished Service Award. Kevin passed away in March of last year as a result of a boating accident while on a fishing trip with his son. Kevin was recruited into the Benton County Farm Bureau through the Young Farmers and Ranchers program. That started him on his journey with Farm Bureau that included 2 years on the Young Farmers and Ranchers State Committee and being elected chairman in 2001. He served 11 years as Benton County Farm Bureau president, and he served multiple terms on the Mississippi Farm Bureau State Board of Directors, including 2 years as North Mississippi vice president. The Excellence in Leadership Award went to Doug Yelverton of Lowndes County for his many years of dedicated service to agriculture in Mississippi. As a young farmer, Yelverton became involved with Farm Bureau and the Cattlemen's Association. As he grew older, he earned the respect of his peers because of his proven track record of leadership and wise decision-making. Yelverton has also been very helpful in educating the public about agriculture by volunteering to speak to civic clubs about his farming operation. The Ag Ambassador Award went to John Tomlinson of Mississippi State University. Tomlinson's work at the state capitol was one of the things that kept Mississippi farmers at the top of their game. In his 39 years with Mississippi State, Tomlinson has worked very closely with Farm Bureau on many different levels. William and Kayla Tabb of Webster County were selected as Farm Bureau's Young Farmer Achievement Award winners. Gaya and Matthew Hawk of Oktibbeha County were selected as the Young Farmers and Ranchers Excellence in Agriculture Award winner. And Tedrick Ratcliffe of Rankin County won the Young Farmer Discussion Meet, an event that challenges contestants' discussion skills and their ability to persuade others to see their side of an issue. All of these young farmers competed in their respective areas in the national competitions held at the American Farm Bureau annual meeting in Orlando last month. We'll let you know how they did later in the show. The Farm Woman of the Year Award was presented to Christine Fielder from Yalobusha County. Christine retired after 19 years as the County 4-H Program Associate. She also serves as the County Farm Bureau Women's Program Vice Chair and the Ag in the Classroom Co-Chair. And finally, Jessica Smith of Pearl River County won the Farm Bureau Ambassador Competition sponsored by the Women's Program. Jessica will be a spokesperson for Farm Bureau and agriculture during 2016.